where you how's your day so far?
It's good. It's really good. I've had a lot of I'm just trying to adjust my thing here. I've had a lot of big upgrade, downloads today, big awakening moments the last couple of days. I went to Edmonton, um,
Yeah.
to the Oilers game, and it helped. It shook something up in me in such a good way. It was just the energy and the energy was so good. I thought kind of it would be maybe more the opposite, where it would be a little loud and kind of heavy,
Yeah.
but the energy was so good for me,
Nice.
and I felt really clear today. So that was a really good thing. I'm just getting some papers.
Yeah.
Should I grab your book? Am I going to read my thing again? Are we kind of going to redo the same sort of thing,
No, no,
or
because
just
I already
takes?
have it from the other recording. So
Oh, right.
I have
Yeah,
the
yeah.
reading. I
Okay.
just need to say that uh, I can record my voice and introduce that you're gonna say it, and then we go with that shot. But there is no problem today. Yes, but
Okay.
if it's good if you bring it, yes, because we can even show it to the screen that we're gonna talk about the book, and yes, you can bring it. That's good idea. Yes,
Okay.
the book.
Okay. Take that out.
So you don't need to read it, but if you want to bring the book, then you can show that to the screen, or if you want it. If not, no need. We have from the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. So, well, we are doing this podcast uh, about my book that I write, and this book is very much about my abduction. So it's my autobiography of an unexpected shaman. So pretty much how I become a shaman. I don't know if I say it correctly, but yes, as a healer, many things happen, and that's exactly what I describe in the book. Pretty much, I write in Spanish and then in English, and in the translation, Nazlin Hayes helped me kindly to correct some things on the style and of course on the spelling and things like that. But was very uh, grateful to meet Naslin and to have here today what we can talk about the book and what the book bring her as her own experience. And the other day we was talking about my book again, but suddenly something happened with the audio, so we couldn't have the whole part, but we will use some for promotion uh, manners. But yes, this book is very interesting from for what I can say because I'm the writer. So yes, I can say, oh yes, this is very interesting. It's a very good book. But actually, as I've been saying, the goal of the intention of this book is to encourage you and others to bring your own testimony, because what happened to me, this physical abduction, uh, of course is not the first time for human race to experience that, but in my case, of course was the first time in this experience life, in this incarnation that I am on. But also the way as it happened was a positive experience that I am sharing in my book. So it's very good to understand the intention of the book, to make the people to question themselves, to question yourself. That, for example, where you go when we go to sleep, right? So we was talking about that, and then why I ask that question, because uh, we need to understand who we are, and that's another question that I'm gonna keep repeating during all my interviews about my book, because that's the intention of the consciousness that I want to bring to you and to all that have the access to read it, because that's the question we need to keep remind us to push who really are, who you are, who am I, and like that, discover through your dreams, for example, that you had been abducted. So these abductions happen every night when we go to sleep, and again, we need to question where we go, who own that system, how come we leave the body, the physical body, and in that fact, the understanding that we are a spirit in a body. So, as a spirit, we are already cosmic, right? So, that's the intention of my book. But when somebody asks me, "Hey, why you write the book?" Or, well, to share my testimony, uh, for in my understanding, for why I was looking for God. Not in the case in a friendly chat, to be honest. I was very upset and I was looking for God truly. So I quit my job. I leave all my materials stuff away, and I really went to all the religions in a period of 1 year looking for God, and I didn't find him in any religion, uh, but lies and other odd situations. And what I found was that we live between the spiritual world again, because we are a spirit in a body. But for me to discover that, that was my trial on my experience. So yes, I did the journey looking for the truth about who we are, why we are here, why the suffering, why the violence, why the war, um, why we repeat experience that we already learned, and all these questions that I'm not the only one that make them. What are your thoughts,
Okay, so
Nazlin?
I think I think it's fair to say, and I think leading with that and having an understanding of what your book is about, I think a lot of people would come with that simple question of, did you find what you were looking for? Did you find God? And are you satisfied with the journey you embarked on?
Yes, exactly, right. So uh, when again, when we look for God, we are looking in the outside, in the exterior, and what I could find so far is that it is yes, it is outside, but in terms of the everything, right? In the terms of the all, the wholeness. So that's God, but also in terms of who we are God experienced life, if we can understand that. So each one of us have different qualities of energies that activate depending your DNA strains and how this one had been reacting with the exterior and the interior of yourself. So what I mean in this case is, for example, how we manage emotions, right? So physical body, one of the main challenge for us in the human experience is to manage emotions, and there is no schools for that. So we have the yoga, for example, meditation classes, different uh, cultures offer some knowledge in terms to manage emotions, but when we look for each one, they are just a piece of, there is no a whole knowledge about, for example, managing emotions, right? Yeah. So when we look for uh, who we are, we need to understand how our physical body works and how we are dealing with that working physical on the physical body. That's one situation. The other is the understanding uh, what things come as program in our minds. So when we born in this system, in this matrix, in this dimension, it is a system right now that is falling, which the falls are based on lies. So again, we need to follow our heart. Why? Because the heart is telling us the truth about any situation. The mind, it will justify the any situation depending of the curiosity of the mind. So that's when the mind many times expose ourselves in terms that are high risk, right? That do not mean that are okay.
And I think so many of us have we're good at living in the mind because we've experienced trauma, because our generation, the collective, is in such a place of having so much pain within. It is easier to live in the mind. We've become so equipped with the tools to live in the mind. We're good at surviving. And I think that's just that hard thing that people are at right now is being able us and feel the emotions to get to the other side of the mind and really live inside the heart. I think it was really neat reading your book. Each interaction you had, it's this beautiful journey, and I won't give too much away to you know from the excitement of the reader to experience that journey on their own. But with each interaction, um, just one sec.
Yes.
Let me just hit pause for 1 sec here.
Sure, sure.
I just have to hit. Hey, you guys, close that door right now. Huh. Close the door, please. What? Not you, her. Close. Yeah, I am right now. You can edit this out, right, Ari?
Yes, no worries. I
Okay,
will. I
good.
will
I was like, you'll be able to,
edit
you'll
everything.
edit it out.
Yes.
Yeah, I just did, Lindley.
Yes. I what I need from your
Okay.
side is when we finish to send me the video, but maybe you can
Yeah,
download to your computer and send me through the computer, because the
yeah.
data, right? The
Okay.
data on
So
the
I'll start over. I'll start over there.
yes, yes, sure.
Okay. So what I found really interesting, and when I was reading your book, again, without giving away too much of the details, each interaction along your journey, it was such a journey. And whether it was an interaction with a family member, a long lost love, a tree, the river, whatever it was, it every one of those interactions kept bringing you closer to the connection within. And so I think what you did in your book was give a really good showcase of what God is, who God is. God was that stranger that you had that interaction with. God was shown to you through that person externally. But then the lesson that you learned out of that, or the takeaway from that connection, showed you the God within you. And so you did such a good job of really encompassing the wholeness of how God is everything. And you had brought that up in our last meeting, when we recorded the other podcast, of how everything has a spirit. And I think maybe if you could touch on that again, I think that's just a really profound and simple teaching that really
Yes.
shows the interconnectedness of God within us all.
Yes. Well, happens that when I come back from my abduction, I did come back with now I can understand with my 108 chakras open, right? So when we understand the energy body, we start to understand because I still working on trying understanding the energy body, but so far we had been um, bring all the knowledge that we could So far, we know that we have 108 chakras in our body. There is the 8 basic chakras running through the column vertebra, and there is 50 chakras and 50 chakras in each side of the body that make the balance to run the bioelectricity and the magnetism together. And in some cases, when we do correct breathing work, for example, we are able to connect sometimes all these chakras, and this would happen that the Merkaba, the call Merkaba, activated. So then we can travel space and time dimensionally, but that is already deep knowledge about the energy body. But when we talk just about chakras, is to understand that just to start to talk about the energy body in the basics, each chakra is a wheel of energy, and this wheel of energy can increase or deplete depending of the motion. So there is here is a good link to understand the experience as humans, because the energy body, it is managed by the emotions. If we start to understand chakras, each chakra, it will link to a specific group of emotions, from negative to positive. So the human physical body can hold negative frequencies, but cannot live from them. So what I mean is, if Ari or Naslin get depressed, for example, the depressed can go down enough for us to commit suicide, or to do something very bad that ends losing our life, as an accident, but was an accident what that we was providing by ourselves. So again, the physical body is like a sponge that absorbs from the exterior and also from the interior, in the terms from what we create. Now, all that is connected to the spirit. So, when we talk about spirit, spirit means that also have conscience. So, there is a we can talk about two kind of consciousness. One, the consciousness that you are as a spirit, and then the consciousness that you start to learn as the human experience. You see, there is two consciousness running at the same time. If we understand that. Now, in the spiritual world, many times happen that people do not know what they are connecting, and this happened to religions, and this happened to people that try to do good but end connecting to bad entities. And when I said bad entities, the spiritual realm is full of, as us, of positive and negative entities. It's the same as the human race. There is good or positive humans and negative humans that they choose to do that as experience, right? So in the case as the spirits we are, uh, when we understand the matrix, the game of the matrix, well, everything is alive too. So there is many things that we have been told as a lie, because everything have a life and a level of consciousness, and with that also a level of intelligence, and also to respond, even as a yes or no. Okay. in the most basic communication or neuronal response, right? So when we talk about matter or material, we try to understand, for example, a rock, a stone, and we see the stone and we grab a stone in our hands and we feel the stone heavy, and we said, oh, this stone cannot be alive. We leave the stone on the floor, and that's our thought, because the stone do not move as us. But actually the stone, to be a stone, it move faster than us in terms of vibration. What? Yes, because I see it. What do you mean? Yes. When I come back from my abduction, I was able to see the matrix in a molecular level.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I could see the molecules of everything in a very big loop,
Yeah.
in a way where everything was vibing, or I was vibing with everything. I don't know how to put it, but
Yeah.
my vibration was high enough to connect with the vibration of the matrix, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And then I could see that, just like the Matrix movie,
Yep.
pretty
Yep.
much pretty similar, but as the matter as we know, but in this level, molecular vibrational level, right? So
So
because
then I think it's safe to
everything is
I would
vibing.
say, sorry.
Sorry, go
And
ahead.
then I would say it's safe to say what you're describing, I'm hearing that is God.
Yes,
Seeing beyond the physicality, that physical matter of the rock, and feeling the cellular vibration, connecting to the vibration of the rock, that vibration, that's God. And
yes,
so when I think when we see a rock, like you say, we take God out of it, we dumb it down to the material of the rock. But it sounds like in your experience, you were able to see with, beyond your eyes, hear beyond your ears, and connect to the truth, that living, the fluid,
yes,
yeah, that vibration. So then would you say that vibration is the energy, and you would label that God, or
yes.
would you take that a bit bigger?
Yes, well, it's part of, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
are God, and everything is God in terms of the source, right? So
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the human experience, what we had been controlled by negative races. That what can I assure you? And I was very fortunate, very lucky that the race that abducted me was for good, because I was just sincerely looking for God, for truly answers that any human had been asking since the beginnings of violence, for example, right? Or since the beginnings of the war, that when you understand that do not make sense.
Okay, so then what if somebody were to ask you, how do you know that your abduction was from positive entities, and to debuff the fear in it? Because I think as soon as people hear the word abduction, yes, it's getting more accepted, but I still
Yes.
think, even me, it's a programming. When you hear that word, you automatically think a negative thing. Aliens have abducted me. That's a negative thing. Are you
Yes.
saying, yes, there are also negative abductions? And
Yes.
if so, how would a person protect themselves from them? And also, how did you know that yours was a positive?
Well, the fact that it was positive is that they returned me uh, to my experience, led me with very skills that we have, that we own these skills. It's not that um, me is special, like everyone is special. It's not me being unique, everyone is unique. So in those
Mm-hmm.
terms, uh, yes, the fact that they abduct me was for a specific reason. So each one of us is part of what I call the divine plan, correct? So this divine plan, in my understanding, it go beyond Earth, you see. So again, another lie for what we had been told as the only ones on the universe. No, we are part of a big, huge divine plan. So this divine plan is protect or had been protect for different races, and there is a galactic federation and also a galactic confederation that also keep the eye on the federation, just as us here, like cops looking for the cops doing the right job. Exactly the same with my cosmic brothers.
Okay, and that's so funny you just said that because I was just about to ask you, okay, so on Earth we have cops that make sure that the bad guys aren't being bad. How come then, in the ethers, these they don't how come we're able to be abducted? How come, like, why aren't there entities protecting us? Like, why my words aren't coming right, but um, in the Galactic Federation, how come they allow these negative entities then to infiltrate our energy?
Well,
Or is that what you would say is the spiritual war right now?
well, again, is many things happening at the same time. So when we talk about the Galactic Federation and the Galactic Confederation, uh, they have been exist always, if I can tell you, uh, because they already are in another dimension. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, why we start to talk about all of this, because of our ascension as a race. What mean ascension? In my understanding, humble is the understanding of all of us as a race of who is God. You see,
Yeah.
so when we understand who is God, then we're gonna stop to look God on the whatever you think it is, because he's in everything. But the big part where he is in you and is in me, you see. So we are the sons of God. We are spirits in a physical body. So the relation with our creator is spiritual because we are spirits, and that relation cannot be represented for no one but by yourself. So when you ask me why other races doesn't help us, that's the answer. If you understand it. So we have the already the power in our hands, always hand being that power, to say no or to stop the game, you know, or to make new rules of how we want to play the game. You see,
Yeah.
it's the same
Yeah.
when we look for a toxic relationship, right? So, what mean a toxic relationship? The impossibility for one or the other part to recognize that had been come to a stock, and that stock sometimes can be fixed. So some relation, toxic relation, can come an agreement where both parts are okay. So that had been happening for us with our controllers. Okay. So when we talk about who control us, so who control the system, right? I will go exactly with David Icke for what he had been claiming, right? With these negative races as reptilians and draconians. Okay, that doesn't mean that all the reptilians or all the draconians going to be negative. You know, they're going to be, of course, some of them ascending in their own experience as race.
Yeah.
You see,
I'm just jotting down. Um, I'm just jotting this down so I don't forget. As you're saying that, I thought, okay, you say who controls the system? And I got in the thought process of who controls the system? Well, we do. And that's how you're saying we need to remember we need to be re-empowered in that. So these negative influences, these negative entities, the only power they have is to influence our mind so
correct.
that we don't remember that we are in control.
Yes,
And that's the mind control.
exactly. Because when we talk, for example, about happiness, there is no
Mm-hmm.
happiness that you do not choose. So happiness is
Yes.
an election. You decide, you choose to be happy right now. You
Yeah.
see, we have that
Yeah.
power. We are creator, and we have the power to manage emotions. The problem is that these controllers, they actually feed from our negative emotions. If we are not able to look that truth as a race, we will not be able to say stop, to say no more. And what is the no more? No more sadness. You see,
Mm-hmm.
no more angry or violence, because we are able to do that. That's the question. Hey, but I get frustrated.
Yeah.
Yes, but all these negative emotions should be temporary. So
Yeah.
that's how should be, as a temporary, as a lessons. Then you learn, Nazlin, or me, the lesson, and
Yeah.
then we keep growing and learning for a different lesson. But when the
Yes.
lesson repeat, who is the winner here?
Yeah.
Not us, for sure.
And that's where they keep us trapped
Like a
in
battery.
identifying. Yeah. Instead of taking, like you say, the experience, learning the lesson, moving on, we attach to the emotion, which then calls in more of that same experience. And
Yes,
you're stuck in there until you can learn to harmonize the emotion, take the
exactly.
lesson, and move forward.
Exactly. When we start to look the divine plan, how huge it is, then we understand that we had been trapped in the first labyrinth. There is like many labyrinths, okay, that
Yes.
we should be
Yep.
able to reach in our right to ascend as the original plan. But what
Yep.
happens is that these controllers took this this dimension, this planet 3D dimension, and
Yep.
they lock us. So even in the dead system, so when we die, which we don't die because we are spirits, we are
Yep.
eternal. So when we die, what should happen is that we should come back to the source, and the source should decide to what level or dimension we should come back to keep in our ascension or growing or spiritual growing. You see,
Yeah.
that makes sense, correct?
Absolutely.
But
But
what do
because
not
we
make
stay in
sense
those
is the
emotions,
incarnation and incarnation and incarnation with same
yep.
experience, with
Yep.
same learning. So wait a second, wait, that that is not what our creator, or the source want. Do you
That's right.
agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's where the whole thing is mastering the art of letting go. And you do that by mastering your emotions. And you do that by recognizing that you are not your emotions and your thoughts. And that's where self discovery is. And that's where God is.
Yes,
And that's the answer.
here
Yeah.
is
Returning to the
is
heart.
yes,
But then I'll say this, it's hard for people to go there because we have locked up all of our pains there. And so we are very afraid as a human race to go to the heart,
Yeah.
but that all these teachings, all these healings show that it's not a scary place, that you don't have to do it alone, that there's all these beautiful techniques and facilitators and healers and
Yes.
inner work you can do. But that's, I think, we're all just very afraid to re-experience the pain that brought forth that lesson. But
Yes.
you taught me a lot. You've taught me so much in that of you don't have to go relive that pain.
No.
And release those attachments. And I think people are just scared of the healing process. So it's
Yes.
easier to distract with addictions. It's easier to stay lost in that labyrinth because it's just a scary thing, but it's not scary. And I think that's why a lot of people, like your book, for instance, if more of us can share our exciting journeys of ascension, how exciting it is to self-discover and reconnect to source, it's not scary and it's not painful. It's the exact opposite of that. And that's just another trick.
Yes. Yes. So from things what we call miracles to our connection with our cosmic brothers. So, but then again, what I also learned is that the cosmic brothers also they are other races living between us. So then again, these races had been fed to the Galactic Federation what's going on Earth. And when you said that the question mark is if they had been helping us, of course they had been helping us all the way along because as much as I could see, uh, all all of us belong to different um cosmic races. You see, cosmic
Yeah.
spiritual
I think,
races. So there is different how I can put this. My spirit, okay, the spirit, even we came from the same source, right? The source divide in different cosmic families. So we have also cosmic families if we understand that,
yeah,
right?
yeah, fair.
So
Yeah.
so there is lots of levels that we have to keep going learning and understanding. Now, there is also many people that claim fake connections or negative connections. So the
Mm-hmm.
best way to reach truth is to ask to your heart, and heart answer immediately. So you put your hand in your heart, you close your eyes, tongue in your palate, and you ask whatever you want, and the answer is immediately. The answer comes as a heat, or as a electricity in your hand, or as a just as a yes that make you feel the same when you say yes, right? So try how we can train ourselves, for example, on that. We can start looking in the mirror, close the eyes, and said yes with your hand in your hand in your heart, and feel the emotion when you said yes, yes, and you feel the emotion. Then you repeat now with the word no, no, and then you feel the emotion, and you will start to notice the difference from your yes to your no.
Yeah.
And this is just a basic sharing with you.
And then that's your antenna. When you develop that skill and you're out and about and
it
you need that answer,
it
you
go
just do
boom.
this and you'll know.
This
Oh,
it goes
yeah.
so there is we are so the physical body is so perfect in that matter. So yes, it's a puzzle for us to discover, to activate, but will not activate, and I want to be clear on this. Will not activate on the negative frequencies because was not made on for negative as a negative entity.
Mm-hmm.
We this physical body was made for a good experience through
Yeah.
through some negative, emotions
Yeah.
that we need to learn from it, and that's it, as a temporary, but
Yeah.
not as to be
Yeah.
hold on those negative emotions, you see,
Yeah.
and for the society to say, oh, it's okay, you see,
Yeah.
it is not okay.
Exactly. And that's where I think people get so confused with the concept of needing to suffer in order to find God. No, like you just said, this body was made for a positive experience. The reason we have negative experiences is to act as the catapult, the polarity to show us we're out of alignment and to bring us back into those positive
Yes.
experiences.
So we are
It's not
built,
to wear as a badge.
yes, we are built actually to be on the positive state. If we look, our natural state of vibration beings on the human experience go through 60 to 80 hertz. So that frequency do not belong to a negative entity. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Mm-hmm.
are good entities. So there is no way that the human race is a dark race. No way. But as a sponge, you see, we are very easy to connect with anything, and also to be programmable to anything. So yes, we need to be in control not just of our emotions, but the majority of in our thoughts, because the
Yeah.
thoughts are the ones who trick us.
Yes.
You see?
Well, and then I think it's neat. And then so I'm just rewriting
Yes,
sometimes what you're
yes,
saying so I can
yes,
circle back around to it.
yes,
So it's, I think what you just said there is where we find empowerment. It's easy to connect to everything and to be programmed by anything. So if you're unaware of the fact that we are these sponges, we are these little crystals, we came as empaths. If you're unaware of that, you're going to be used by the negative
correct.
entities. And now that's what you're going to connect to so they can feast off our energy. You're going to allow yourself to be programmed by the matrix. But then if you read that again, we're easy to connect to everything and to be programmed by anything. So then the awareness is connect to God,
Yes,
program your own mind. It's
yes,
easy. We just
yes,
forgot that are allowed to and that we're capable. And that's exactly what we came to do.
yes, yes, you got
But
it.
when you're sad, when you're scared, you're not connecting with God. That's why they keep us sad and scared. So now we're magnetically attracting more experiences to keep us sad and scared so they can
Yes,
feast off of our energy.
you got it. That's exactly how they do. And they are masters on controlling us. So right now what we are living as a human race is the lies of all this control system, which is the bank system, all the education system, all the health system, you name it. See, all these ones are falling down because they were based on lies to control us,
Mm-hmm.
to maintain us in under 50 hertz, at least, right? So under 50, we are very good food for negative races. Just,
Yeah.
as batteries, as they harvest these energies, and uh, I know because I see how that works when I come back. And then again, the spiritual war is between us. So that's a very bad understanding how dimensions work and what spirit means,
Yeah.
right? So dimensions happens at the same what we call time.
Yep. Simultaneously.
Simons, yes. Now also space at the same space. So this is crazy what I'm saying. It's very deep, because many things what we call this spirits, they are not. They are timelines, crossings as dimensions. So sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you see, for example, a ghost of somebody biking, right? And if this ghost, for example, is not in a loop, that's a time lapse that crashed during that very moment, a dimensional crash, as I can tell. You know, a loop.
Yeah.
It is a different. When it's a loop, it's a spirit in this dimension lock. You know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
when it's just once, when this accident happens once, is not a loop that is repeating, then we are talking about dimensions, for example. So there is lots to talk about the spiritual realm, and how we
Yeah.
understand, how we connect,
Yeah.
and how we interact with spirits, right?
Yeah, I think that would be a really nice topic for us to cover to
Yes,
start with for our next talk. I would
yes,
really like to deep dive into the more quantum, that sort of stuff. I'm going to circle back around just
yes,
to your
yes.
book for a second and say
Yes.
my favorite chapter, again, without revealing too much, because really it's just you have to read it and experience it, for yourself. But my favorite chapter is a chapter where you connect with the elementals. Um, Now, I've always had the belief that I know I can fly. I know it's in my cells. I know that the humans, the capacity we have, is so limitless. So you touch on a few things in your connection, coming back from the abduction when you're vibrating at this frequency. um and you almost experience you almost share a bit of grief as you're coming out of that ultimate pure connection. My question is, are we able to stay there? Are we I want to stay where you were. I want to constantly be able to, you know um defy the law of gravity and really literally speak and connect to the river and the flowers. Do you think that that is ascension? That's where we come to. And
Yes.
if so, how come you're not chasing that?
Well, uh, always since I come back from my abduction, I've been
Mhm.
experienced exactly that several times. So part of what I was grant, or what was activated in my DNA, was to be able to do the things I do as a service to help others, right? So then I understand, of course, I'm not the only one, so there are many of others able to do that. So with this statement, what I mean is, all of us, for example, can do telepathy, all right?
Mhm.
But not all of us are willing to do it,
Mhm.
you see? So all of us can do telepathy. All the human race have the physical body is built to do telepathy, okay? But not everyone is willing to do based on their thoughts, on believing, you see.
Yep.
So one of the base rules on our spiritual gifts is the believe it, because the believe it is gonna crack your mind and bring the true mind, which is your heart, right? The heart is your true mind, okay? So this is not truth mind. These lie to us, okay, constantly. And the heart will not lie. So the heart is the one that is connected to the spirit, okay? So we need to learn lots about how we deal emotions and how the heart think, right? So there is not schools, for example, about the mind of the heart, right? Neither about the energy body or the spiritual body. And when we talk about spiritual body, then there is many misunderstandings, right? So about which the witchcraft, or about bad medicine, or about voodoo, or about all those ones are made with bad intention,
Yeah.
you see. And then there is the shamans, there is the healers, that again we do with good intention. So all is based in with the intention, right? What you are looking for, what you want. There is people that they just want money, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in some point life will present that money is not the answer to find truth, or to find love, or to find whatever they were looking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So uh, in my case, do I'm looking for fame? Of course not. I do not care fame at all,
Yeah.
but I care with all my heart my human race, my human fellows, and the future of the race, to do not be controlled by these negative entities, but to finally to finally win the sovereignty that we are sovereign,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
we need to win that, and work together with Mother Earth, to help her also to grow with her, right? The moment as we witness that we try to kill her, we kill ourselves. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the majority of us understand, but the controllers do not let us uh, to do too much, but it's because we are divided. So, again, even if we are unique, we should come together as the unique we are. You see, so yes,
So then I think, is it safe to say, if someone were to say to you, then how do I grow that muscle of the spirit body? And I feel like, you're kind of saying, okay, we're all capable to connect to source, to connect to ourselves, to be heart led. It's just like our physical bodies. We're all capable of having a strong physical body. It's a matter of work out, grow
yes,
your muscles, eat well. So it's no different for the spiritual body. The exercises would be, okay, you're saying the connection is belief. How do you build belief? How do you build muscle? You go to the gym. How do you build belief? You sit and do these exercises of connection to your heart.
yes.
So what would you say to people listening to this? What other exercises is this, where it's the mindfulness? Is this the meditation? Is are these the tools?
Yes, I think the main goal is the awareness, to be consciousness of who you are in terms of who you want to be too, right? So I don't think, as for the majority of humans, that you want to be a negative being, but a positive, right? So that's the goal, in my understanding, as a race, to be more positive as possible, and to commit that. Yes, it's in our hands, but always we are looking for a shaman, for a medicine man, for a guru that gonna teach us the path, the way, and many of them try to take that advantage of the knowledge to show them the path. Guess what? Myself, I will not lie to you guys. And that's why I'm sharing my testimony, my autobiography of how I become a shaman, but as a healer, to show you that you own your path. You own your path. I cannot show you your path. You see, because I have my path. So um, I'm living my path. You see, and because I'm living my path, you cannot live my path. You see, you cannot live my path. No one can live my path. How come? You see, and that's one of the big mistakes that we follow as the program, as they program us, as the artist, and the hero, and the famous person. All these are just negative programs because what they do is for us as to challenge us to achieve something that is fake, that is a lie, that is not us, right? So then you hear many young teens that they want to become famous, um, from a musician to an actor to a politician, you name it. But the reason is fame or money, and all those are not the answers, right? So we are coming to those truths where we need to balance the richness of this planet for everyone, where evolution should be truth as a fact. Evolution should be no hungriness on earth. So there is no reason for us as a race that should be anybody on earth right now with hungry. And
Mm-hmm.
if happens, it's because we still not reach that point of growing as a race.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if
Mm-hmm.
me or you understand it, right? We don't reach, and why we don't reach it? Because again, we had been programmed to look for other things that are not important. Again, the work is inside us.
Mm-hmm.
So how I can change the world? Changing yourself. That's the
Absolutely.
only way we
Yeah.
can really do it.
Yeah.
Because when we see words, that's the outside from our inside. Come on, let's
Yep.
say it.
Yep.
If
Yep.
we see violence outside, is the reflection of the violence inside that we cannot be willing to deal with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it is already the moment to face all our lies within ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's part
And
of
I
the ascension, right?
and I think
Uh,
in that same breath to recognize that we're fighting a common enemy. It's an energy. It's the entities. It's
yes,
fear. It's we're
yes,
not fighting each other. We're mirrors projecting each other's stuff so we can see it and grow and hold space for each other and forgive the flesh. But we just keep turning on each other because it's easier to project those things out and battle out here against each other than to go inside and to love ourselves. And that's, I think, the saddest thing is it's easier for us to hate and destroy than it is to just love ourselves and create. So a person has to sit there and dive into that and think, well, that's weird. Why is it not easy for me to love myself? And then there's the whole problem. None of us feel worthy of receiving that self-love. And that's where we are now. And
yes,
and that's why the world is the way it is. And it's so cliche, but the answer is love. But
yes,
love from within first. And that's where then people get stuck. Okay, the answer is love. I will seek love. No, it's still in here though first.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. You cannot share what you do not have, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, you are love,
Yeah.
then you can share love, right? But then how I can achieve love? How I don't know how to love myself. That's another question that people make themselves several times. And again, there is no schools then how to teach you how to love yourself. But guess what? There is good advisor, so I'm a very good advisor, and I can advise in that matter that when we don't have the answers about the exactly truth, guess what? We have the real answers about the exactly lies or the bad thing. So
Mm-hmm.
when we don't have exactly answer about truth, we have the contrast of the reality, the fact of reality. So right there, that contrast is telling you where you don't want to go again.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
right there, we have already an answer as a race to follow.
Yeah.
That we cannot say, no, no, I didn't know, no. As a race, every day, every minute, as we see a new about genocides or wars or crimes or right, we are connected, all of us. If we don't understand that the people killing another, one person to another, affect us, you know, in all understanding affect as a negative frequency, you see. So when we look, for example, the pains that many keep holding, just the pain,
Yep.
for example, that First Nations keep holding for what happened to them with the Catholic
Mm-hmm.
schools,
Mm-hmm.
the genocide by the hand by a religion, again, because it's not the first time,
Yeah.
but what we learn from it and what we see from it is First Nations is still in grief, is still in pain. We need to help our brothers to come out of the pain and to understand that death is not the last but the beginning. Then to don't be that sad, you see, to give them hope, to understand that life keep going, that we are spiritual, eternal, right? So when we talk about fly, well, guess how would you get in that physical body? Well, you fly from the source to here, right, in the beginning. Now when they hold us, they don't let us back to the source, so they make these entities that they call themselves and they represent themselves as God to hold us. And that's when, if we are able to have that consciousness right now, and after that, we're gonna win the game. Why?
Absolutely.
Because then we will not come back in the reincarnation control system. We want to be able to come back to the source. And guess the source we will know, not just by the Galactic Federation that had been informed, right? But by their sun itself, that something is wrong. Now, everything is already done for us to win the game. If we look, we are winning. If we look what happened right now worldwide, the human race is winning,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to win, but we need to believe it, and
Exactly.
we need to stop their game
Yeah.
by
Oh,
our rules, not their
yes.
rules. See,
And that's where I come to the place of, okay, wait a minute. Let's flip the script a little bit here. Whoa. Let's turn the table. If I'm sitting here absorbing all these negative frequencies and then attracting and magnetizing more negative frequencies, well, then that means I have the power to push out something different. So alchemize, there's so much negative energy. So if we can remember that we're alchemizers, it's all energy. We
Yeah.
decide what charge to give it. So let's take all this negative energy and I'm going to use the tool of my human body and alchemize it and push it back out as positive energy.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's that, this is that flow. And this is what our bodies were designed to do. But no one taught us that. So instead, we take in all the negative energies and store it, identify it, carry it, and it weighs us down and binds us to this matrix. But then if we do that healing work, we release, and it's not even a release, we just remember to keep it in flow. So then as the negative comes in, we recycle it and we turn it back into positive, and we're just cleaning and cleaning. And then that's our little jobs.
Yes. So it's lots of challenge because again there is lots of energies between ourselves, right? So we have the magnetic energy, we have electric energy, then we have atomic energy that
Yeah.
make us be able to create ether between ourselves, and neutrine energy too. So there is even energies that we are not aware of.
Yeah.
Imagine that. They are
Yeah.
so much things that they cover from our ears and eyes for us to
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Now, for the ones who know, as I myself, we try to share as much as we can. But unfortunately, many things that we want to share are right now uh, beyond comprehension,
Yeah.
as a race. Maybe some will understand, but the majority will keep calling me crazy. That oh yes, you're crazy, right? So I'm
Yep.
so glad that the UFO phenomenon and alien phenomenon come to truth in many governments already, because now I
Yes.
can speak open
Yes.
my experience and share it to encourage
Yes.
others what is our real reality. And
Yes.
that's the way we can push to break all these negative agendas. Is
Absolutely.
the only way I can see truly is by awareness and consciousness through who we really are. And who we really are. We are love. We are peace. We are health. We are happiness. We are harmony. We are all the good things that you can keep adding, right? That's exactly who we are, right? So the other experience, uh, we really need to question mark where they came from.
And that is, and you know, as you say those words, the feeling I first start getting is yes, an empowerment. And then it's interesting because as you keep going, an emotion of sadness like overtakes me. And I found myself saying, why are you sad about that, Nazlin? Why is this making you sad, remembering that you are supposed to be? Because it makes me sad because I forgot that that's who we are. And sometimes when you finally remember, it's hard to face the years you didn't live as that and how much you denied yourself, your spirit, your inner child. And it makes you realize you just feel the sadness and the pain of how us humans we just don't love ourselves. We don't think we're allowed to. We don't think we're worthy of it. And even me, who's been immersed in this world and this journey for so many years, that still the emotion of sadness overtook that empowered feeling very quickly right there. And so yeah, it's an interesting thing to analyze.
Yes, yes. We have so much testimonies about the miracles that the physical body can do by different persons, different martial artists, by different sport guys, right? So we had many examples of the capability of the human body, right?
Yeah.
And and from there, there is many things that we are not aware, right? So yes,
Yeah.
telepathy right now is very trending. People is talking about it, but no one is willing. Many, just few, are willing to practice it. So even myself, I've been facing that as a truth when I challenge others to do telepathy with me. And then what I face is that laziness, procrastination, and and that's the truth I've been facing. Now, when the person happens, sometimes happens that the person is willing to do, then it happened the telepathy. So I experienced telepathy already with many persons, and these persons already are very excited for what they are achieve, right? So again, the practice make the master. Same with telekinesis, the our capacity to move objects without
Yeah.
touching them. This is a
Yeah.
very we have that power. This is not a joke. This is not a fake
Yeah.
statement. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a fact that we have these powers. Okay, so
Yeah.
uh, all of us can access to that power. Now there is some of us with more facility to do so, right? So when I say that, I want to include what you came to do here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for those as myself that we win grant by the majority of us, we win grant by the cosmic brothers, and we win
Mm-hmm.
grant is ourselves granting the activation.
Exactly. A lot receiving,
Is
believing.
ourselves accepting how I say the truth
Yes.
in love manner. So that frequency of accepting in love the truth, not what you want of truth,
Mm-hmm.
not what your ego want for truth. Where is my God? Where is the goal? Where is no, but your heart. The heart is the one it's really connect to your real who we are, who you are, right? So many things you will learn from my book if you read it and read it, because I try my best to code it, to activate as much as you read it and as you need it. And this activation, what we'll do is to grant, to give you the granted, to grant yourself these activations to start to do telepathy, telekinesis, and other spiritual gifts that we are not aware. For example, levitation is real. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like, no, I witnessed when I was a kid, and then I lived myself in my abduction experience in the after when I returned me back. Uh, then I'm assure you all these gifts are a fact. How we can get them? Well, we have to change our diet to start, right? Because one of the reasons we cannot reach many of these spiritual gifts that are within our physical body and DNA is our diet. So we should eat just once a day, and that's already lots.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Because maybe once 2 days or 3 days,
Yep.
we should be doing those kind of fastings. Then with that, no sickness, no diseases, no cancer, no arthritis, no nothing. They're no
Yep.
good business for those guys,
Yep.
but
No doubt.
a real ascension for us as a race, which is
Yeah.
awareness and consciousness. I'm not saying here you don't eat. No, you can eat, but once in a while, right? Because the physical body do not need that much food.
Yep.
So what happened in us is that they keep us like the same we do. Listen to these guys. The same we do to the pigs, to the chickens, to feed them and feed them and feed them to make them fatter.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly the same they do to us.
Yep. Yep.
And what's the result? Well, you have an animal, for example, in the case of the pigs or the chickens that do not move, and it become a slave.
Yep.
So yes, it's a strong statement, but it's the truth. We are slaves in our own life system,
Yep.
and this
Absolutely.
own life system is the lie start for how we eat, because we should not be eat that much.
Mm-hmm.
We should come back to eat less and less and less and less. Then the body should be more alkaline than acid. To get the body alkaline, we need lots of salt, and we have it. But do we consume it? No. What we prefer as a race? Sugar. Sugar, baby. Sugar. Is all this program about sugar? Imagine. We never hear, hey, salt, salty, yeah, salty, salty. No, no, it's not the same campaign. You see, there is big programs behind to control us and to damage us enough to kill us slow to maintain us in
Mm-hmm.
control. That's
Yep.
that's the truth. If
Absolutely.
if we cannot see that, we cannot get out from that.
And I think too, that's where it becomes a matter of accountability. And does it suck? Yes. Have we grown up this way? It's not our fault, but it is our responsibility. And right now, we're so programmed in comfort. That is a very, very challenging thing for people to even, scale back the two snacks, never mind a meal. Like it's gonna take, as much as we're doing amazing and we are evolving and the awareness is great, still. And I'll say even I'll put myself right out there and say I am very spiritually advanced, I am very spiritually connected, but my human still does live in a lot of comforts. So I know, like I'm going to do a fast tomorrow, like I'm getting back on track, but I know what you're saying. But I still by deep, I'm sitting here right now having a coffee. That's the worst thing I could put in my body, especially at night for my nervous system. I know that. And that's where it's about responsibility and accountability of
Yes.
putting those comforts down to achieve that. And not a lot of people want to do that.
Yeah, it's exactly what I mean, right? So there is the people that enjoy the pain, enjoy the negative emotions, and they develop this because because the physical body is able to do it. But these persons, their life rate is very short,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's the price they end paying on that choosing life, right? So what we see, for example, in my background as a Mexican, as a that background, living in Mexico was getting worse and worse in terms of violence, to the point that I have to open the door with fear, with scare, and close the door also with feel scared and sleep with those feelings. So when I
Yep.
look at my body was 24/7
Yep.
under at least under 50, and sometimes depending what happened me in the outside, my emotions peak down because I was felt to be threat, or actually because they threat me, or because I felt I was going to be assaulted. Oh no, they actually assault me, or because I was felt that actually somebody gonna do something bad. And was guess what? I have 4 kidnaps, three very bad ones, one express also very bad in my life before my abduction. And this is also what encouraged me also to look for God, because I was having enough in my life. I was so ready to end with my life, so sad about life, about how we become the rules, the laws, no justice, uh, all these betrays that I experienced since a kid, all this sexual abuse that I couldn't understand as I keep growing, because now there is the society silence on all of this. So when a rape happened, when a violence situation happens, the majority of of those experiences go to silence.
Yep. And it's sad how trained we are. And I mean, I was groomed as a little girl from both of my parents. Like there was so much abuse and trauma, and you're trained to do
Yeah.
not talk about
And you don't
this.
say nothing and keep
Do not,
quiet
or it'll
and
get
don't talk.
worse.
And all this program
Yep.
of education
Yep.
is just a slave system if we look deep. They don't
That
teach
we're
us.
now subscribing to. And that's the thing that, and again, I'm pointing the fingers at myself when I say it. We now do have enough awareness.
Yes.
So at this point, we're choosing to stay in that system of slavery because it's comfortable and it
Exactly.
feeds our ego.
Yes. Yes, because when we know the facts that Bill Gates, for example, tried to kill us and he's still free, and we still paying the Microsoft every year bill.
Yep.
This is the most ridiculous reality we are living on. How
Yep.
come I pay into my torture, who is actually big mouth to say, yes, I'm depopulating the world because we are too many. And he's doing it, and he did through the vaccines and his patents. So he's a genocide, and he's still free. So
And like you
for
say,
my
not
life
only
experience,
free, but we're paying him.
yes. So for my life
Yes.
experience, that's the part
Yep.
I'm trying very hard to find the ways. Just for example, to stop to use Microsoft. But when you look deep, it's like we have to stop to use almost everything,
And that's where it
and
gets hard. And that's
start
where it gets
over
tricky.
I
Yep.
mean it, in a real start over, without all these garbage
Yep. And
control tools.
when you speak on that, that example just reminds me of that is the loop that a lot of us are stuck in these toxic relationships. Like as a woman, I'll speak, you know, women will choose, these sort of narcissistic relationships because of our low self-worth, whatever. But it's like not only, and this goes back to, when you have the childhood trauma with your parents, not only are we being abused by these people, but we continue to love them and nurture them and pour into them. And that's the cycle that needs to break on
Yes.
those intimate levels and on these larger scale levels, like you just spoke about. But
Yes.
then it goes back to the comfort, obviously, that if we're staying in that negative relationship, we're getting something from it. There's
Yes.
something, then that's what you look at. What am I getting from this? And why am I still choosing to stay in this?
Yes.
And sometimes, oh, if you then sometimes some people just do. And that's what we're seeing, the divide on the earth. Some people are saying, yeah, I know it's the devil. I know it's the matrix, and I know it's gonna suck my soul, but it feels okay. It's comfortable. It numbs the pain, and I'm gonna choose it anyway. And
Yes.
that's the hard divide that we're having in consciousness right now.
Yes, yes. So one of the questions, for example, I did to my cosmic brothers was exactly that. Are we going to save us like the whole human race? And I think this is not just my feeling. I think the majority of us have the same feeling as empaths, that we want to save the whole world,
Yep.
right? The whole human race, all of us, right? But the truth came as a no, as a
Yep.
no.
Yep.
Just for what just we said right now, that's
Yep.
part of the answer they also give me. But the way they give me the no was through my own memories and through my own actions, and was one of the most hardest things that I ever experienced in this life. Was that they were able to show me all the bad that I did in this life, and was terrible, and I did regret, and I did repent, and all this emotion of how I can come, and knowing that you cannot come back time, to
Yep.
rewind the time, to and to do it again.
Yep. Yep.
And no, now it's
And I
like
think
you have to accept it.
exactly. And that's where people get stuck, because it is hard when you start healing to look back and see what you allowed your human to do in your state of pain. And that's where Jesus is teaching on like on forgiveness. That's where these tools come in. But that's a hard one to face it, accept it, hold yourself accountable, and choose different. And to be able to let it go.
To
Yes, that
let
took
it go.
years. Let it, yeah,
Yeah.
but that's those, these are hard things.
Yes, yes,
But this is the
and
way.
that's what they show me. So I'm so glad and grateful for what they teach
Yeah.
me, and that's what I'm share with them, my therapy. So I create my own therapy after my abduction, with the help
Yeah.
of a shaman, and this shaman really helped me to create my therapy because I was kind of lost for how I can do this, how I can get to the memory of this person or that person just by looking
Yes.
them, and uh, very very strong connection that I still have it, but I learn how to respect it. You see,
Absolutely.
uh, then same with the spirits. Uh, I'm so clear that I cannot connect with negative entities myself. Like,
Yeah.
it's impossible. I cry every day or almost every day about my own process, but
Yeah.
my state always is high.
Yes.
I end with my own battles as my own warrior, winning my own battles,
Yeah.
knowing that I have to win, because if I lose, who lose? Right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
lose, right? So
Yeah,
who have to
exactly.
win? I have
Yeah.
to win, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Even in the worst, I need to be sure I have to win
Yeah.
because I know my source.
Yeah.
I know the core of my source is a winner, you see? So we already win all the battles that you can expose right now, but we have to
Mm-hmm.
face them to win them. You
Yeah,
see? So
absolutely.
I'm
Well, I'll just quickly say my phone battery's just about dead, but I
okay.
just want to throw in there at the end, I'll
Yes,
circle back around because I feel like,
yes,
anyone listening, they're going to say, okay, so they're going to say again, but how? So, okay, how you reach out to someone like Ari, you reach out to him, someone like him who's been given these battles, who's been given the tools, who's overcome them in his own life, and who can teach you and give you, help you, not give you tools, help you discover your personal set of tools so
your
you can
own
forge
tools.
that path forward. Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes,
so that's it. And that's what we're here to help each other. We're here to walk it.
yes.
There's no shame in reaching out to a healer.
No.
And I'll say too, like I just would like to quickly say that follow your heart and you'll know there are true healers, like the Bible says, in these end days, be watchful for false prophet. And you have to feel into that. But I can say as a testimony that Ari is a true healer because he truly heals. I see his two strengths. He heals with his heart and with humor. And that's Jesus. That's Buddha. That's your characteristics of any true
Yes.
healer, a heart and humor and
Mm,
humble and honor. There's honor, and I would just put my whole life, truth on saying that that's what you would get with Ari is a true healer because he doesn't claim to heal you. He simply cares to help you understand how to connect to yourself and source because he knows that that is the true healing. And so
yes.
I'm just grateful to have been able to meet you, experience your resources, your therapies, your tools to be able to connect with your mind. I appreciate that so much. And, just get his book, read his book. And that's the thing too. What a gift, there's your gift from Ari is he's written his story out, and the story itself is a healing. It's an activator, it's an oracle, it's a remembrance, and so there it is. Like
Yeah.
you can pay next to nothing and have a teaching to keep referring back to. So what a gift, and thank you, Ari, for taking the time and packaging that healing frequency into a book, and being brave and bold enough to share your story, knowing how many people it's gonna help and awaken. So thank you very much for actually, and that's where I know too, you have inspired me. I've had a calling for several years to finish my books, and watching you,
Yes.
witnessing you do it, witnessing you prioritizing. Nobody paid you to sit there and write your story and edit your book. Quite the opposite. You paid, you took your time, you put the money into putting your calling from God down into paper. And so it's really kicking me in the butt and lighting that fire in me of, okay, let's
Yes.
go, Naslin, you're next. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Like I said, the most important intention is to encourage others to bring your testimony in all the ways you understand it, right? So
Yeah.
when we start understand all these gifts that each one of us have, so had been gifts in our DNA. So what you are saying is that my gifts are different than yours. Yes. So for example, telepathy, yes, all of us we can achieve telepathy, okay, but
And I feel like you would say that's because that's not a gift. That's a human right. That's an ability of the human. That's like
yes,
breathing.
yes, you see,
Yeah.
so that's something all of us can do. But
Yeah.
for example, one thing that is unique in Nari is that I can heal you through my telepathy, right? So just by bring your spiritual being to my mind, I can heal you, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
so
Yeah.
then that make Ari in his uniqueness,
Expression of God.
expression
Yeah.
of God, right? So and
Yeah.
even that it can happen that maybe others have the same, right? But with
Yeah.
a bit of a tint of difference, right? So
Totally.
yes,
It's like the expression of God filtered through the human of Ari, and no one else is the human of Ari. So even if someone else has that same expression coming through them, it's going to be spiced and flavored through their human. So there's no way, even if we had 20 million similar gifts, it would still be unique how it is
unique.
expressed through each of us.
Yes, and the way it's gonna interact in the matrix, the way the experience will roll, is going to be also different and unique.
Yeah.
So there is a loss of time for us to keep trying to copy others' life experience, to keep
Yep.
looking. When I see many healers looking for Jesus, for example,
Yep.
Jesus teachings, and then what happened to many of them is then they look to to become Jesus themselves,
Yep.
and it's like, wait,
Yep.
wait, that's not the that's not what Jesus want, you know.
Yep. Yep.
uh, and again, you cannot become Jesus but to follow his teachings, you see.
Exactly.
That's the difference, right?
Yeah. And people get confused of his teachings wasn't what he did. Some of it, but no, you don't look at what Jesus did and do what Jesus
Yeah.
did. You listen to his teachings. Jesus did Jesus. Jesus says, Nazlin, do Nazlin. Like
Yes.
follow my teachings. Don't try to be me.
And my teaching is that, or the teach from Jesus, for example, is that, Nazlin, you will do bigger things than me if you follow
Yep.
your heart. If you love each other, you will do bigger things than me. So easy rules. So easy rules,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We follow? That's the question. We don't, right? So we need to
Yep.
work hard to follow those teachings, not just from Jesus, but from Buddha, from all of us, from Naslin,
Yeah.
from me, because we are uh, um, creators, teachers, but also students all the time. You see, we are in learning process all the time. If
Yes.
myself as a shaman claim, oh, I know everything, yes, come, my dear ones. No, I'm learning. I'm just learning as yourself, and many things in a different level, you know, and that doesn't make me bigger than you or stronger than you or nothing, nothing on that side, but on the sharing of the experience as how we can collaborate, how we can cooperate to overcome of this reality that all of us do not like it, right?
Absolutely.
That's part of the fact, right? So we are living right
Yeah.
now as a society, as a race, a very hard moment where we had been betrayed in different ways, where the society right now is broken.
Mm-hmm.
So we,
But like you say, it's just a reflection of how we're broken
yes,
inside.
so it's not the end, but it's the beginning. You see, if we can look deep, it's a good news because
Yeah.
finally, we are looking on the mirror.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we need to do, to look into the mirror. And guess what? Anybody, anybody is your mirror.
Yes.
Anybody. And we are all connected in that sense.
Yes.
So yes.
All right.
All right.